Fans will always judge success on the performance of their team, but from a league-wide perspective, was this the best season ever for the National Hockey League?
Well, we like each season to be the best season ever, and we were coming off a tremendous season in the 23-24 season. So it was going to be tough to beat from the start. But I do think we rose to the challenge for sure. I think it was a fantastic regular season. Obviously, the Four Nations face-off was spectacular. A Winter Classic at Wrigley Field, you really can't top that. Moving right into a outdoor game in Columbus, Ohio, where we drew 95,000 people. Who would have thunk that was possible even 20 years ago? And then the Grade A chase down the stretch, as well as terrific Stanley Cup playoff races. I think the first time in our history that three teams took to the last game of the regular season to qualify for the playoffs is tremendous. We had a very competitive playoff season with a lot of memorable series. I think it was the third season in the last 20 maybe that we didn't have a single four-game sweep. So it was by a lot of measures, it was tremendous. And as we started this program, where you said we're kind of into next season already, and I'm telling you that I feel like I'm still in this past season. As soon as we get a chance to take a breather and look ahead, we'll be planning to try to make next season our best season ever.
You forgot to mention Utah.
And Utah, tremendous accomplishment by that organization, top to bottom. Everything they did, they made as everyone on this podcast knows, made a big trade on Monday night or Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I don't know what day of the week it is anymore. In any event, they're up and running, and there's a lot of excitement in Salt Lake City.
The whole concept of having a season where you really don't have a blemish. Like, let's face it, Arizona for the last 5 years was a blemish. And it created an issue. There was, as great as hockey was, as great as every team in the league was, there was always, well, what are you going to do in Arizona? How are you going to fix Arizona? But to have that must have been more of a relief than anything else, to know things were going so well there.
Well, we always knew we had a question after a board meeting,
right.
That was centered on Arizona from the media. So that it was a worthwhile break this year from that tradition that's been following us for years. Yeah, for sure. And that the ownership there is spectacular. The management is set. Chris Armstrong has done a fantastic job there in terms of building the identity of that club and its place in the community. So you're right, John. We have we always like to talk about the fact that the league and the clubs have never been stronger. This certainly was an addition in terms of the strength of this franchise.
There's only one box left to check, right, John?
Well, it's that brand new collective bargaining agreement, correct, Bill?
Not done yet, but certainly well on our way, and certainly optimistic that we'll have something to announce relatively soon.
Okay, so there's other issues with so yesterday was the board meeting. Lots of discussion about lots of stuff, and I assume the CBA was the biggest topic. 84 game schedule, is that a reality?
Something that's being discussed.
How soon would that
happen? I expect that we're gonna have a media availability or a press conference to announce where we are in collective bargaining. Having said that, even if we finalize that and have a handshake and announce that to the world, both parties have a ratification process to go through.
Oh, I see.
So there's going to be no details around the specifics of the collective agreement until it's fully ratified.
So
But it
there-
sounds
so
like you're
w-
really close on that CBA.
I think that's fair.
Um, and the other, we had Vernon Krause on Wednesday on the show about his discussions about bringing hockey back to Atlanta. You guys have been very public saying we're not in the official expansion mode, but if somebody wants to blow our socks off, somebody can blow our socks off. And then you see the Boston Celtics sell for $6.7 billion. You see the Lakers sign for 10, or sell for 10. This is a pretty good time to be in the business of buying and selling franchises, isn't it?
Well, I think it certainly. I'll make it specific to our sport. I think obviously we've talked about it already. Our sport's never been stronger. We've never had more stable ownership. The value of the investment goes up every year. So it's a good time for sure.
World Cup of Hockey was a great success. The idea of putting in place the next, not Four Nations, so Four Nations will morph into World Cup of Hockey. You're on that process for a couple of years down the road, and how in depth are you?
So we actually released a media release today on the fact that we have gone out with an RFP to host the World Cup of Hockey in 2028. Our hope and intention is to play half that tournament in European location or locations, and half in North America. So that process is underway. That's one of the things we'll continue to work with the IIHF on. It may be that they're not in a position contractually with respect to their main marketing agreement in Europe that they can help us, but we can execute this tournament without them. So we'd like to be arm in arm with them, but certainly understand if they have contractual restrictions. So that's something that has to be worked out as we go on, but it's not going to stop us from our planning.
So with or without the federation, you will play games in Europe?
With or without the IIHF, obviously, right. I think we need the support and endorsement of each of the member national associations, the federations. I believe we have that certainly what we need, and yes, we'll move forward.
How many host cities will you have?
Good question. We'll take a look at what the RFP produces in terms of city interest, venue interest, and the like. We'll make that decision. Obviously it's a relatively short tournament, right? So there's going to be 7 round robin games, or actually, I guess 4 round robin games followed by a quarterfinal in each of the locations, with the semifinals moving probably to North America and a final. So it's a relatively short tournament.